And welcome back to the Sports Lounge, everybody. We are live. He's Robert DeVito. I'm JohnCarl Ziegler. Friday night, my friend, February the 8th, 2008. A milestone, as you can see behind us, the 50th episode of the Sports Lounge. Robert, it's been a great ride, and I look forward to continue into the upper 50s.
Yeah, I mean, amazing that we've gotten where we have so fastly, 50 episodes, and can't wait to keep rolling.
Do you remember our first show?
Yeah, it feels so long ago, but so like just like yesterday at the same time.
We were 19 then, we're 21 now, and we'll be 20. You'll be 22 in May, myself in October. The time just goes so quickly, and you just have to enjoy it while it lasts.
And we've definitely been enjoying it.
And certainly we have a lot to enjoy here in New York. The New York Football Giants, I said it, defeated the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl number 42. It was 42 for them. It's 50 for us today. But let's talk about the New York Giants and their stunning upset of the Pats.
Yeah, I mean, nobody really saw this coming. Everyone thought that this was going to be the game that crowned the Patriots, undefeated champions, 19-0, first time ever, tie them with the Dolphins to an undefeated season. But the Giants, believed in themselves, and they proved the world wrong, and they came up and shocked the world and shocked the Patriots.
Let's talk about the quarterbacks. Manning, 19 of 34, 255 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. That 1 interception, really not his fault. The ball was very low to the ground. The Giant player picked it up, tried to corral it, but in the process, knocking the ball up into the air and into the arms of the defensive player for New England.
Yes, I mean that's just a bad break, and seeing that, you don't want to do things like that against the New England Patriots. Those are the types of things you want to avoid because you don't want to give them more chances than you have to.
Let's talk about Tom Brady. 29 of 48, 266 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. They did have the fumble that the Giants recovered on a sack, I believe. But the 1 touchdown, it's good. It came at a great point of the game, but it wasn't enough. Let's assess Tom Brady's performance this past Sunday.
Well, I mean, listen, this is the most pressure that Tom Brady was under all season. I mean, his offensive line just wasn't as good as they've been all year. The Giants got pressure on almost every play with just their front four. I mean, they threw some blitzes in there, but for the most part, it was just the front four with Humaniora, Strand, and Tuck getting in his face almost every play, and he was getting hit all game, and it just threw him off rhythm.
The running backs in this contest, Bradshaw and Jacobs, they combined for 87 yards on the ground. Not a great game, but very good compared to the 44 that was by New England.
Right.
New England had their problems, but they just couldn't seem to get it together. Maroney, Falk, even Brady, nowhere to go. The Giant defense just stifled them all afternoon into the night.
Yeah, the Giant defense has been, they've been very good against the run all year. Not very many teams have been able to run them consistently, and they proved that again in the Super Bowl by stopping the Patriots running game. As far as the Giant running game, while they didn't run for 150 yards or whatever, what they did very well was pick up blitzes. Every time the Patriots tried to send a blitz to get to Manning, Jacobs or Bradshaw was there picking it up and making sure Manning had just enough time to get the throw off he wanted to make.
The Giants did score first in this game via the field goal. Was it important for them to set the tone for this game to score first? Because even though they did score first, they didn't score again until the fourth quarter, and the Patriots took a lead into halftime and into the final quarter of the game. So did it really matter getting on the board first? What was the mindset of the team, you believe?
Well, I think it definitely mattered. I think the biggest part of scoring first in that first drive was taking, almost 10 minutes off the clock before the Patriots even had the ball. I mean, I think that was the biggest thing they did in that first drive was showing the Patriots that we can hold the ball, we can make a drive, we can move down the field if we have to. And I think that's more, they scored, they only got a field goal, but I think that holding the ball was the most important for them.
And you echoed those sentiments to me 2 weeks ago on the show when I asked you your 2 keys of the game. You told me A would be third down conversions. Both teams were 50%. I believe 7 for 14 and 8 for 16, respectively. And clock management. And the Giants did a great job of that towards the end. And, of course, to start the game, they held the ball for, I believe, 8 to 9 minutes, maybe a little longer.
Yeah, it was just right in that area, right there.
So let's talk now about the wide receivers. Not such great performances on the Giants side, but they were giant ones in that 1 or 2 catches made the difference in the game.
Absolutely, and you're going to talk about, people are going to talk about the play to Tyree in the fourth quarter for the rest of the time. It was one of the great catches or great plays you'll see in your lifetime. Manning getting away from the sack and throwing that ball to Tyree, who I still can't figure out how he caught the ball. it just doesn't make any sense, but he did, and seeing that, you kind of knew, like, this is the Giants' night, things are going their way, and the receivers made big plays when they had to. Steve Smith on 3rd and 11 right before the touchdown makes the catch, gets a couple of yards and falls out of bounds. They made the big plays when they had to.
And Amani Toomer didn't have a touchdown in this game, but a big-time leader. He's been there for a very long time, back when they lost that Super Bowl to the Ravens. 6 catches for 84 yards. He had himself a whale of a game also.
He did. He showed all year. He's been there when Burris is double covered or he's not open, Manning looks for Toomer, and Toomer's always right there for him, when he needs to make a throw. And he made one play where he might have pushed off the defender a little bit, but he got both feet down in bounds, making the catch to the sideline, an amazing catch, and it's things he's been doing all season for them.
Plaxico Burress, a guy who a lot of people are not too fond of him. He has his critics, but he put them to sleep on Sunday.
Absolutely.
Even though he only had 2 catches for 27 yards, he had the biggest one of them all. And whether you have 20 catches or 1 catch, the game winner to win the Super Bowl, that's the most important one, Robert.
Yeah, I think between the NFC Championship game in Green Bay and the Super Bowl, Plaxico Burress has cemented himself as one of the top 5 receivers in the league right now. He dominated Al Harris in the NFC title game, and then in the Super Bowl he makes the catch to give the Giants the title. So he cemented himself as one of the greats and in the league today, and making the game-winning catch, for him was great after he made the prediction earlier in the week that they would win, and it was really something special.
We're going to switch up that background now. That 50th anniversary, we're going to take it down. There's nice colors back there. I have a shirt like that.
Yeah.
But we're going to put up the Wachovia Center, home to the 76ers and the Atlantic Division leading Philadelphia Flyers in the National Hockey League. We'll get into the NHL later on, but let's finish up our Super Bowl stuff right here. A lot of great stuff, especially for one Plaxico Burress, who developed a bit of a reputation, a bad one in Pittsburgh, but since coming to the Giants, great time chemistry between him and Eli Manning have really stepped up both of their games. The great chemistry has made these two even better.
Yeah, and it's really amazing. Burress has been hurt all year long, hasn't been able to practice much, so him and Manning haven't had that much time to get in sync, but for some reason, every Sunday when they suit up and they go out into the field, Manning and Burress, they know what each other will be doing. They have that kind of chemistry together, and it's kind of reminiscent of Peyton and Marvin Harrison, their kind of chemistry where they're always on the same page.
Randy Moss, 5 for 62 and a touchdown. Wes Welker, the MVP, not so fast. 11 catches, 103 yards. Did he have it taken away from him at the end? I thought he was going to win it up until the touchdown by the Giants.
Yeah, he's definitely going to get some votes there, but I think Brady would have got the MVP had the Patriots won. Welker had 11 catches, which is tied a Super Bowl record, but I don't really think none of them really stood out in my mind looking back on the game.
Let's move from the MVP, this a single MVP, to a group of guys winning the MVP. You can make a case for the whole Giant defense. You want to talk about 5 sacks, the forced fumble. They were in Tom Brady's face early and often.
Well, yeah, if you could give the MVP award to, a group of guys instead of one individual, the Giants defense would get it hands down. The front four, like we said before, getting pressure on almost every play, getting in Brady's face. The linebacker stepping up, stopping the run. The secondary played a great game, stopping the big play. The Patriots just didn't have really any big play that stood out there down the field. So, every facet of the defense came to play, and they played a great game.
Brady to Moss, no surprise, with 2:42 remaining. The 2-minute offense now, hey, Mr. Eli Manning, he's done it many times before. I think the most comebacks in the last 2 seasons. Needed to orchestrate one more, and he did so against a team who's used to breaking the other guys' hearts.
Yeah, Eli Manning came back, ran a 2-minute drill at the end of the game to win it, and this is something that he's been able to do since he came into the league. Even when he was struggling in his first couple of years, he could always somehow just manage to turn it on during the 2-minute drill and excel. He's got that calm demeanor. He doesn't rush. He just takes his time. He knows how much time he has, and he makes the plays he has to make. And since he came into the league, the first game that sticks into my mind was the Denver game, bringing them back in the fourth quarter to win it. But he's just been doing it his whole career, and it's something that he thrives in.
Even